Good afternoon, church. This is Pastor John here. This video segment is a follow-up question and answer segment for last Sunday, the 20th of June. Due to time, we weren't able to address the questions. So from Slido, I've got the questions here. I'll read them out and then try to answer them. Some of the numbers we will skip over because I'll skip over comments just to focus on questions. There's quite a lot of questions here, so here we go. Question number 1. How do we encourage and serve others when we aren't feeling encouraged? If we're struggling, should we prioritize our own growth and well-being over others? Yeah, so that's a very good question. Also a very broad one. I guess I need to know more about why, what does it look like for you that you're not feeling encouraged? Is it that you find that you're not growing in your relationship with God? Is it that you feel that people aren't coming to talk to you and encouraging you? Have to dig deeper into what that means or what that looks like. We are to grow in our relationship with God from what we're learning, and part of encouraging and serving others is actually to share what God is doing in our lives, and also be real about some of the struggles and difficulties that we have. So one of the great books about encouragement that I'll be sharing hopefully in encouragement segments is this one, Encouragement by Larry Crabb and Dan Allender. It has some very good points. One of the things it says is actually talking about a goal versus a desire. That is, a goal is something that we can be convicted by from God about being an encouraging and welcoming person, and that is what we are to be like because of who God is, what Jesus has done for us, and how he has made us his people. And so that is something that we are to pursue single-mindedly, regardless of how else other people relate to us. A desire is actually something that we want to see happen, but that actually depends on other people. So we might desire that other people take an interest in us, that they come and talk to us and encourage us. Very good desire. So we need to be focused on our goal, that is to become a welcoming and encouraging person, because that is what the scriptures say. That is what God has called us to do as part of his people. And we can also desire that other people will reciprocate. They will come and encourage us and listen to us, and that would help us as well. So if we're struggling, we might need to spend some time on our own, which is what you might be talking about. We might need to have some time of prayer, reading the Bible, our relationship with God, absolutely, if that helps us. But part of our growth and well-being will actually be related to other people. God has called us into a family, into a body. So our well-being and growth actually is tied up with other people. We can't grow and be healthy and be particularly Christians individually or islands. Part of our growth and health and well-being actually relates in community. So we actually need to find our well-being and health in relationship with other people. And of course, that can be complicated because we might find that individually we grow, we have a great relationship with God, but we might find that relationships with other people, maybe they're not as optimal as they could be. But that is part of our development, will be cultivating those. So yeah, happy to talk to you individually about what does feeling discouraged look like for you, because then we can work out ways forward. Question number 2. This is related, I think. How do we combat loneliness even within our church? What if we feel unloved by oblivious people in church and don't know what to do? Yeah, thank you for that. That's very deep and personal, obviously. I think it would be good to know, what does loneliness look like for you? Does that mean that people aren't coming to talk to you? If you feel unloved by various people, what does that look like? Is that because people don't want to talk to you, they don't want to listen to you? If that is the case, then we need to look at what that looks like for you, so that whether it's coming to church, attending growth group, that you feel a sense of belonging, that people are interested in you and caring for you. So that's probably a more individual conversation. And that's important from what we started to address on Sunday, isn't it? The fact that we need to be looking out for each other. And sometimes when people look like they've got no one to talk to, it's quite awkward for them. We need to take it upon ourselves to say, look, I'm free now. I see that person. I need to show an interest in them. And if particularly there are closer or key people at church or in your life who you feel are not giving you maybe the care and attention, then yeah, we need to talk about what that might look like or how to address that. Question number 4. If we're already serving people in a specific ministry, should we still aim to serve others in everything else we do at church, or can we rest? Welcoming and encouragement is not to be overwhelming. You still continue in specific ministries, and to do that well, that's very important. What we want to see with encouragement and welcoming is that in fellowship time, when we're all free, that we could actually see that as an opportunity to talk to someone, to ask about something, to listen to them and provide some encouragement, even for a short period of time. Maybe that's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That doesn't mean that you're obligated to that person every single Sunday, that you will speak to them at length and you feel burdened that I'm the only person who can encourage them or welcome them. No, not at all. It actually can be that I saw this person alone, I spoke to them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then as however long that was appropriate. And in that particular context, I was exercising a good ministry of welcoming and encouragement. It doesn't necessarily have to take over your life or burden you every single minute that you're at church, or hours and hours and hours that basically consumes everything else. Not at all. So what encouragement and welcoming could look like is our attitude and heart to care for people as we're able when we're free. There's times when you're not able to do that. You're not free to do that. And that is not just something for you to feel guilty about, but something that God can direct someone else to. So not either or, but again, both and, to do your other ministry as well as to take up those opportunities as you're able. Question number 5. Is our church like the first one in Revelations? Great teaching, hard work, perseverance, but lacking in love for God and others. That's a very perceptive comment and question. The answer is I don't know. I hope we're not like that. And even if we are tending to be like that, and maybe that's a very sharp perception from you, then that's why we actually addressed welcoming and encouragement last Sunday, because it's such a vital area positively for us to focus on. But negatively, if it's a problem that we're addressing or getting away from, then we're moving in the right direction. So I really hope not. And I hope that we are going to address that. And when people pick up key insights or perceptions or questions like that, then we need to think about that and actually address that. So the answer is I hope not, and I hope that we're moving in a positive direction by what we're starting to talk about. Question 6. Sometimes we focus to keep the number of the congregation. We encourage and welcome a lot, but seldom spur people who don't do right according to the Bible. Agree? I'm not sure if I do agree at this point, and part of that is that I don't quite understand the concern. That might be something in which you approach me individually about. Are there concerns that you have about spurring people who don't do right? If there's specific concerns that you have, then you can raise that with me. If that's actually happening at the moment, then it's actually good to talk about it personally, because if there's a problem where that's not addressed, some people are doing the wrong thing rather than the right thing, then of course we need to talk about that and do that. So yeah, if there's specific things you want to bring up, then happy to talk to you. Question 7. Only welcoming and encouraging won't keep the people, but how to grow spiritually and let people not only focus on themselves, but more in the community, right? Yes, absolutely. We are addressing welcoming and encouragement for people that we have at church and people who join us. But there's so much more than that, isn't it? That's why we have an evangelism focus. We have evangelism spots that Leo does really well. We do Chatswood Street evangelism. We're actually putting ourselves out there to actually engage and meet with people, even people we don't know. We have keen members of the congregation who invite their friends and family to come to church, who don't normally come to our church. We are working in the background at the moment on Christianity Explored, which is the course that people can actually check out Mark's Gospel. And they might be not Christian, they might be on the fringes of Christianity, and they're trying to check it out. They have questions to get answered. So encouragement and welcoming also goes hand in hand with evangelism outreach mission, which is actually happening in English ministry. And it's not either or, but all of them all together with our growth, with our outreach, with our discipleship, with our training, all the things that we want to do that God has led us to. Question 8. How do we love others better? Ask to spend time with them, initiate conversation with lonely people, mentor someone, help families, etc. Absolutely. I think you've brought those up really well. That's right. That's what encouragement and welcoming and love could look like. Initiative, wanting to show an interest, to listen, to care, to offer. Absolutely. That's what the love of God is like, isn't it? God reached out to us. We didn't reach out to him. He reached out in love, in care. Some people don't accept that, but that does not take away from the fact that God reaches out to us. Therefore, we reach out to other people like those things. So absolutely right. Question 9. What do we do with people who abuse the graciousness of others? That is, people who expect others to accommodate them but never make accommodation for others. If that's a specific example where certain people have become irritating to you, I think one way to approach it is actually to continue to accommodate them, be gracious and loving towards them. And then in that context, if that's irritating you or frustrating you, then to bring it up with them in the right way. To actually be gracious and accommodating, and then at the right time to actually bring it up with them and actually say, give them specific examples of when you were hurt or annoyed or frustrated, and actually say to them, I feel annoyed or frustrated or whatever your feeling is because this happened or when you did this. To actually own it for yourself, to actually bring it up with them, and then that actually makes them aware. Sometimes people were not aware of what they're doing. We can sometimes have blind spots. To bring it up with them, to let them know how you feel, the consequence of that, so that they can actually then take that in, and hopefully then they can become aware and apologize for what they have done. Or it's the start of a conversation to addressing this problem. Even if someone, maybe they weren't aware, maybe they need to think about it, maybe they're not apologetic, that could happen. But it's the start of actually trying to address something if that's really frustrating you or annoying you. Question 11. How important are things like attending 11 a.m. and Bible study as some of the ways we could be serving and encouraging others? Absolutely, it's essential, isn't it? We are not to give up the habit of meeting together. So church and fellowship and gathering are exactly the ways that we can actually serve and encourage. The fact that you come and you choose to come and you come when the weather is cold and it's hard, and there's times because of tiredness or stress that it wasn't easy to come, but you dragged yourself to get there, and even that by being there is so encouraging. And then that's the starting point for actually serving and encouraging people, because you need to do that face-to-face, in person, in company. I think that's what the Bible is talking about. And that's what we need as people, isn't it? We need to be together. And something like on screens and live stream is something, but it's not the same as actually being together. So being together in company with one another, talking face to face is really what we need. It's actually being around and available, so therefore we can actually listen, get to know people. When you're not spending time with people, you don't know them, do you? So the fact that it's important to be there, be together, to listen, to understand, that's really the vehicle for serving and encouraging each other, because it's on the basis of regular connection, of relationship, by which we can actually then understand where people are up to, what they need, and then how we actually can serve them in ways that the Bible says. And so that's right. And the other thing is that relating to loneliness or feeling discouraged, that will further the problem if we don't come. So sometimes if we don't feel like coming, we actually need to still persist at that, because that's the only way that things will get better. If things are hard and then we choose not to come, it actually makes things worse. There is so much endurance and persistence in fellowship and in the Christian life. And that is the means by which God speaks to us and we connect with our family. That's so important, because that is the way God will be working in us to serve other people, but for other people to serve us, because we have needs as well. So that fellowship and connection really is essential for church, for gathering with God's people, for meeting together, for all those good things to happen. That's quite essential. Well, I hope that I've addressed some of the questions. And as I've been saying, then some of these are actually from personal chats. Some I can only say general things. So do feel free to come and talk to me, email me, happy with a phone call, or we can meet discreetly. No one else needs to know what we're talking about. So I can address some of those deep personal issues for you and for us to go forward. So I hope that that can happen. Hope that we can continue to have fellowship, meet together, and address all these important things that God might take us forward and draw us close to Him and build up His family. God bless you, church, and hope to see you soon. Bye for now.